What's going on my fantasy basketball fans? Welcome to the Score Fantasy Basketball Podcast. I'm Waiver Wire Queen, and today I am going to give you some sleeper forwards you should consider drafting in your upcoming drafts to help you this upcoming season in fantasy basketball. All right, y'all, let's jump right into it. Let's get right into it. Norman Powell, forward with the Portland Trail Blazers. Last season, he averaged 18 points, 3 rebounds, slightly 1 assist. He's definitely good for points, okay? He's going to get you about 18, 19 points per game. He's not going to get you anything else when it comes to like rebounds and assists. However, he is a solid add late in the draft for your bench. Always remember that when you are drafting, you're not just drafting starters. You have to consider drafting solid players to come off your bench. Any event that you have players who are injured, players who are out due to load management, one of our favorite things, right? Load management is a thing, so you got to consider that as well. And then you never know with COVID going on, so you have to consider all of these factors when you are drafting. So you have to think ahead, and he is a solid add. Carmelo has left the building too, so to me, this is going to increase his minutes, and he's going to get more opportunities to shoot the ball, and my boy Dame is going to get him involved, and he is a nice, solid three-point shooter. So what are you going to do when you are drafting and you are in those late rounds and you are looking for value players? You're going to consider Norman Powell. All right, y'all. Gordon Hayward. It's crazy that he is on this list. A few years ago, he was one of the top players at his position and one of the most coveted players in free agency. Over the last few years, he's had a lot of injuries, but, you know, hopefully he's coming back this year. When he played last season, he averaged 19 points and 5 rebounds, which is really good. He can still shoot, let's not forget. So you're getting a player who can shoot the ball, whether it's from 2 or 3. So his field goal percentage is going to be good. Then he has a talented point guard by the name of LaMelo Ball, who is going to get him the ball, okay? So Gordon Hayward, he normally, I like to call him a stat stuffer. He's going to get points. He was able to get rebounds and assists. So no one's checking for him early on in the draft, and he's not the player that he once was a few years ago before he signed with Boston. However, he is a solid player who is going to at least get you 18 points, 5-6 rebounds, 4 or 5 assists. That is great value. And if you can't get one of the top forwards, then he is a nice add. And remember, a lot of people are just kind of dismissing him, too many injuries. Yes, I understand that. However, adding him is a smart strategic move later on if you can't get those top dogs in tier 1 or tier 2. Okay, so Gordon Hayward. All right, Malik Beasley with the Timberwolves averaged 19 points last season and 4 rebounds. He was playing some really good basketball before injuries and his suspension. Do I feel he's going to do the same thing this upcoming season? Yes, he's his ADP is pretty low, so people are not necessarily looking at him, and he's definitely a really good player. Some people may be considering him late rounds as a filler, as a starter. It kind of depends on the setup of your league. Some leagues only have 5-6 players. Some have more players that you have to start. So you have to build your team. And like I said, it's not only the starters you have to focus on. You have to focus on your bench as well. Nothing like getting in there, you drafted all these great starters, and then you don't even know who to check for to fill out and round out your roster for the bench players. So Beasley, he had a really good season last year. He's gonna start. He's a nice player to add, and basically with him, you're looking for his scoring. So pick him up in the draft. Check him out in the draft. If you've already drafted and say he's available in free agency, can consider, picking him up. He's someone I'm looking at later on in my drafts, and it's a good move because, like I said, it's not just the starters. You have to focus on the whole team, your whole roster, and you want players who can come in there for you and get you the points that you need or the categories you need, depending on what type of league you're in, and help you win in the event that one of your starters are injured or COVID or load management or whatever may happen. So consider Malik Beasley. All right, another player to consider is Kareem Levert. I'm not sure if I pronounced his name right, but y'all know who I'm talking about. Forward with the Indiana Pacers. All right, he averaged 20 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists last season when he played. He didn't play a lot last season, unfortunately, injuries. The kid is talented, okay? He finally came into his own when he was on BK. Now he's on the Pacers. The Pacers have some nice pieces, and when you have solid players around you, it'll make you better. So I feel like being with the Pacers is going to just make him better. He was one of their best players. He's going to be healthy this year to start. He's definitely a player to look at. Like, for me, I wouldn't look at him as my top forward to draft, but I will definitely be strategic when I can grab him and add him to my bench. And he can be a player that I have coming off my bench in one of my leagues. So with him, he's good for both points-based leagues or categories, because he's going to get you the points that you need. So scoring, obviously, and points. And then he's going to chip in with some rebounds and some assists. I would love to see the rebounds and assists increased slightly. So if he's doing 4 rebounds, 5 assists, let's see him push it to 5 or 6 rebounds and maybe 5, 6 assists. We'll leave it at that. But he's a really good young player, and health is wealth. So if he's healthy, he's a player to look for, because when people were sleeping, you're not sleeping because you already know what you got to do and how you need to prioritize him. All right. Another player to consider is Jaren Jackson Jr. That's right. Jaren Jackson Jr. He's going to be returning from injury this year. Hopefully he's 100% healthy. This kid has all the talent. He can play defense. He can obviously score, and he can stretch the floor, rebound. He's really good, and he was coming into his own. Unfortunately, injuries, kind of stopped that, but the talent is still there, okay? Last season when he played, he averaged 14 points and 5 rebounds. He didn't play a full season because he was returning from injury. He's definitely capable of being an 18 and 10 player. I would love to see if he can push himself to be that 18 and 10. So 18 points, 10 rebounds, and be consistent, and hopefully health, because like I always say, health is wealth, and availability is the most important thing, because you can average 20 and 10 and always be out, and that's not going to help. So hopefully he's healthy enough this season to make it through a full year, and he can get to that 18 and 10, because the talent is there. It's always been there. He's always had it. But let's see, with a healthy full season, what he's going to do. All right, y'all hit that like button and follow the Score Fantasy Basketball Podcast for more. Peace.